Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Tuesday.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're super excited to be able to talk to you guys today. Another review strain. So this one is different. Got a cool story with it, but Brandon, let's get right into it. What are we talking about today?
Oh, today's strain is Hollywood Pure Kush, or HPK.
Or you just want to call it Hollywood Kush. That's pretty much what we call it.
It's true. It's fantastic.
It's awesome. But before we go too deep into that one, make sure that you guys you don't have to necessarily subscribe. I mean, we'd love you to subscribe, but please leave a review.
Definitely leave a review.
Absolutely. The reviews help us to get this out there. We have grown this to the #1 cannabis podcast on Apple and Spotify. So if you write in cannabis, you will find our name. And the only reason why that exists is because of you. So we want you to be able to share this with as many people as you want, but leave a review. That helps us to be able to find it. And also, we want to give you guys a quick moment. Please consider donating to our Patreon. Every
penny helps.
That helps us to continue making content like this for you. So before that, man, but that's a little bit plug in here, but man, Hollywood Kush.
Oh, yeah.
Is this an indica, sativa? Is it a true hybrid?
It's actually a pretty balanced hybrid.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because when I first got it, I thought it was actually a really solid indica.
Really?
Yeah. It's more of the relaxing, that full body relaxation that comes with it.
Okay.
Kind of that clearing of any shit in my mind that is very vindicative of like an indica strain, more for me.
Yeah.
But it's really balanced. Like we were talking earlier today, and I had just smoked some, and it was very cerebral. Like, not that I was overthinking or even in my head, but that I noticed I felt it a lot in my head.
Yeah, I'd agree. I recently had a really rough night. I just couldn't sleep. I've got a lot of stress going on in my life, as you may have. I know Brandon's got stress in his life. And what happened, I just was like, normally I would use a vape pen, and I went to my Hollywood Kush. I've only had this in flower.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and
just
I'm
the
glad.
flower.
I'm glad because we can talk about different feelings as far as distillates in another episode. But when using Hollywood Kush, it was actually able to allow my mind to just kind of put those worries aside, not front and center. Mm-hmm. And that's that feeling you're talking about. It really has this wonderful release. It's like, hey, we know all this other shit's going on in your life, but right now you can chill out. But there are also some different things from this one, man. I told you about that episode that I had.
Oh, your wife's experience?
Well, both of us felt the same thing, but I mixed cherry diesel with Hollywood Kush. And my wife had what the best way to describe it is a psychedelic experience. She started seeing fractal patterns,
tracers,
and she said it felt like
very psychedelic.
Her brain was like in a jar floating, like she could feel like it was floating, like she was almost
like your body doesn't exist almost, but like
a disassociated state, right? You just like floating. She literally she couldn't feel the bed below her.
Yeah. So do you remember that night that we did edibles and we had put terpenes on all the bowls? And we made the defuck edibles, and I had 2 of those and everything else.
Man, we used to make a lot of chocolate back in the day.
I know.
Holy shit.
So that experience, when it all kicked in and I was laying in bed, I felt like a floating consciousness. My body did not exist. I mean, it did, and I knew I could move it if I chose to, but when I chose to relax, I was just a floating consciousness. Yeah, it was incredible.
Weightlessness that you experience with this strain is cool in the sense that it's actually being able to allow your body to your CB1 receptors are just like sponges with this strain. That's what I feel like.
Well, it makes sense. This strain has a wide range of cannabinoids and terpenes that are prevalent in it.
Wow.
So it has THC, CBD, CBC, CBG, CBN, and THCV.
Wow.
And caryophyllene, geraniol,
If you know it, please leave it down in the comments over there exactly how to spell it out. In syllables.
Yeah, which is like piney, woody scents, and then
cool.
neoliidol, which is floral scents, and then limonene. So it has like a lot of terpenes. So the entourage effect with this strain is incredible.
Yeah, and mixing it with something else elevated that one. Cherry Diesel is a really good sativa that can help with anything from like headaches to nausea, which most of them do, but this one exceptionally well because it's not a super like
overly heady.
Yeah, it's not super heady. It's more of a well balanced high, but adding to something like this with such a deep profile on it. Wow. It was crazy.
Well, and the THC range is anywhere from like 21 to 28 as well.
Ooh.
So it packs a punch.
Yeah.
It's funny. The genetics are literally, this has just been a clone-only strain for the last 20 years.
Wow.
It comes from a cut up in the Hindu Kush Mountains. Yeah. And so it's just been genetically like cloned and passed down for 20 years.
What's the lineage?
That's all. It's
that's
just
all.
some unknown cut from the Hindu mountains.
That's crazy.
Hindu Kush Mountains, yeah.
So where do you predominantly find this strain? Are you going to be able to find this on the West Coast, East Coast? Is it pretty spread out across the board? What have you found?
Oh, well, we know it's definitely West Coast.
Right, West Coast, West Coast. Sorry, East.
Yeah, but there was a lot of places that had it, surprisingly. But not a lot of people reviewed it or have talked about it, which is interesting because it is such a creamy, like the smoke, the experience is creamy, it's smooth, it's an all around amazing. I started off first thing this morning, like
not a lot of cough. Not a lot of cough.
No, and I started like, it was very creative. I played my guitar this morning. I haven't done that in months.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so very creative, very like took the numbing out of, or like numb my fingertips a little bit because I don't have calluses on my fingers right now.
No, neither do I.
Yeah. So it was just something of like, it really helped, I don't know, just take away the edge. My pain in my back has been, maybe it's the snow and the cold, but it's been more annoying.
Yeah, it's
lately.
more sensitive to the pressure changes. I felt the same thing. I've got a broken collarbone from when I was a kid.
That's so hot.
And it feels like someone's got a knife like between a fracture and keeps like just slightly.
Do you feel it in the break then?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah. And it fucked up my day. But I actually had tried Hollywood Kush with that. And great. I mean, because it's a in between the road hybrid, a true hybrid, I feel it has a lot of pain relieving properties to it, and it absolutely helps. Even with the deep pain over there, it went away within about 20-30 minutes after I had consumed some Hollywood Kush.
The first time that you had used it and you tried it first, and you're like, oh man, I just tried this and I saw fractal patterns.
Yeah.
And tracers. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And thinking, how much of this do I have to smoke to get that? And I smoked 2 bowls and I felt nice. I felt really good. It was a really relaxing, enjoyable experience, but I didn't get any tracers.
I would recommend combining it with cherry pie or cherry diesel.
Cherry diesel's all gone.
Yeah, cherry diesel is all gone. But I would even try it with cherry pie. Just stacking that strain can really, and again, it's what you're consuming it with. When consuming this with my pack, so the vaporizer, I'd say that the high is not as aggressive. It is a very relaxed state. Expect about almost 15 minutes for full
Yeah, it takes time to settle
It
in.
really does. This strain is not super fast. Like your typical sativas are just going to go, whoom, but this is a very slow onset, which is a great positive because that means that it's going to last a little bit longer. I found that
Yeah, right.
my elevated states are pretty consistent. It's about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours off of a
Wow.
bowl.
Man,
Pretty impressive.
it
And
is.
that kind of associates to the percentage of THC maybe, or the different types of
Well,
cannabinoids that are in there. It's really hard to say. And so for me personally, and maybe my CB1 receptors are just that much more sensitive, it was able to give me that.
well, I mean, it could have just been a lot of things at the moment, but what surprised me, this one doesn't even, the common or effects are used for things is not chronic pain.
Yeah.
But I noticed that it really did melt away that. A lot of it is like, it's calm, giggly, uplifted, happy, tingly, arousal is big in there. And I
That's
guess
pretty cool.
that makes sense if your body is like super relaxed or tingly, like you
Yeah.
could have that in there. Also like very talkative, and a relaxed, energetic kind of thing, which I can attest to like very much this morning. And maybe this is just me, but I felt like it's a great all day strain
Yeah, it really is. I mean, this is a
in
wake and
dosing,
bake.
proper dosing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, in making sure that you can, layer it throughout the day. Say you are suffering from a lot of chronic pain, and that you're having difficulty, maybe even emotional. I found that this is great for reducing anxiety for myself, and the anxiety talking about, like, you've got bills, you've got all these other things that are on your plate, and they never leave. This was a label for me to lay it down. I'm aware of it. It didn't like disappear magically, but it definitely made me feel a lot better so I can enjoy my life. So that's a possibility on that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. It was awesome. And we always share those experiences like, oh man, if you do this and if you combine it with this, like this really helps. So it's nice. And speaking on nice, great combinations, what food would you imagine that this would be paired off really well with?
Oh man, this was definitely a munchie strain for me
Yep.
because it is commonly used for lack of appetite. So helping people who don't eat much. Um, I just sat down with all my munchie chips, like all my munchie snacks.
Really?
It was terrible, yeah. Not this morning, but like normally when I smoke that, I
Yeah.
just sit down and like bag of chips, some fucking chocolate, something sweet and crunchy, and I'm like, I've got like 5 things around me. I sit down, I'm like, damn it.
Well, that's the cool part about it, though, right? I mean, I recently I've been really getting heavy back into the gym. So here's something that I actually had it, and I know that's like common with it. You just want to eat and eat and eat. But I created this little snack watching these other like guys who lift and bodybuilders, always looking for tips on how to be able to be better in the gym. And this guy put in like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 like tablespoons of Greek yogurt, non-flavored, and then I took a scoop of vanilla protein powder, put some blackberries in it, put chia seeds, hemp seeds, and flax seeds in it. I got this cool combination. I got at Walmart. It's like $4 for this big old bag of seeds, and I
Damn.
poured in there, and man, it was like it hit all the spots. It was slightly sour, it was sweet, and it was super filling. And I didn't after I ate that, because sometimes like
Yeah.
the munchies surpass your size of your stomach. Like, bro, you could eat one more slice of pizza. You're good. Go ahead, try it. And they're like, I really shouldn't. Food's like here, and you're like, nah, it's okay.
You got this, bro.
And that's exactly what this did. It was great. It was a great little recipe. And it was easy to do, and it just filled me up, gave me satisfaction. It gave me slight sweet, but it was something that was healthy. And that's the hardest part of finding with munchies is healthy things that you want to eat.
So we have an episode that's coming out that you'll hear soon, and it's actually with a guy, Tim Pickett, and he was actually oh God, what did he say at that moment? He was like a health specialist, and he was dietitian
Yeah.
specialist at the moment, and he was helping people, and he said that commonly with munchies, a lot of the time, if you just drink ice water that curbs your munchies. And that, because most of the time your body's not necessarily hungry, it's thirsty. So drinking ice water seems to help curb those munchies. So maybe if you're not wanting to have munchies and sit down with a bunch of shit like I did, have some ice water.
But that's okay too. I mean, if you want, they're my favorite go-to snack for something like this, and I don't keep it on hand, are those chocolate-covered almonds from Costco. That
dude, those are good. Or
diabetes
the
in a
bars.
box.
Yeah,
oh my dude,
sugar.
It's so good.
But so bad at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, treat yourself, treat yourself. I mean, but there's some cool studies we'll talk about in other episodes, but it might not even matter. It might not even matter, but keeping up with it, it's making sure that you got something good there. So sweet, salty, savory, this one is kind of across the board.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
You don't feel like the sativas, I always want to like have sweets.
Yeah.
I want sweets all the time.
Huh.
It's bad. If I go past the grocery counter, there's Twinkies there.
Twinkies?
Yeah, fat kid pills.
Oh, I haven't even...
That's what my friend in the Navy says. Those are fat pills. Don't touch them. and I would just, you can taste the saturated fat. You can taste the fakeness of it.
I hate that. I hate now
so
when I
good.
put a food thing in my mouth and I can taste the like chemicals. And I put it in, I'm like, it tastes like shit.
Still.
Sadness.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Speaking of taste, though, this one has like, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
It has like vanilla, kind of minty flavors in there.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up the mint and the aftertaste.
Yeah, but like a spicy, herbally, kind of woody flavors too. Yeah, it was a really, really pretty nugs.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I took a little picture of one of the biggest nugs, and we'll show you guys. It's beautiful.
Oh, they're so
They're
cool.
so trichome covered, like really dusty, just gorgeous nugs.
Yeah, so this is definitely a strain that you could use throughout the day. You got projects coming up. Maybe, I honestly, like I have great conversations with this.
Oh yeah,
I have
conversational.
Yeah, very open. They're not like super deep conversations, but it definitely can go there.
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But I would say that with this one, I like the overall experience. Like, you feel it first in your head.
Oh yeah,
it definitely hits you first in the head, but not with like rushing thoughts. Just more the fact that you can feel the pressure almost.
Yeah, like, and that's a great point. Sometimes I feel like in my head, I feel it. Whenever I'm consuming, my CB1 receptors being able to receive all this THC, sometimes it actually feels like pressure, like pushing on the sides, but
not heavy or like painful, but just as in like
headband.
Yeah, like I'm wearing a beanie or something almost.
Yeah, but this one, it definitely I don't know.
But it's like a relaxing one.
Yeah, it's super floaty.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. If you get a chance to be able to do that, and speaking of that one, did you see any reviews on it?
No, but I figured that your wife's experience of like psychedelic was probably the best review. And granted, it was, a salad mixed with cherry diesel, but that experience still it made me sit down at that moment and go, oh my God, I need to smoke this right away.
Yeah.
Because I think at that time I had 13 or 14 different strains that I was sitting there and I'm like, and I'm getting kind of sad because I think I'm down to my last ounce of Hollywood Kush.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I don't know what's going to happen when it goes out. I'm just
that's why I keep my flower in those tubes, because for me, I have to tap it out and I actually kind of get a measurement out of it, and it keeps it so fresh for so long. But at the same time, that's the only way where it keeps me from smoking too much of it, because it's really easy to load up another bowl, even though you're feeling pretty good. And you're like, I'm going to load another one. I'm going to load another one.
Yeah. I feel like I usually do that more when I'm with other people.
Absolutely. It's easy to smoke one bowl by yourself.
Oh, it's easy to smoke many bowls by myself. Literally, I sit down and it's like, all right, I smoke one, go rinse it out, come back, smoke another one, go rinse it out, come back, smoke. I'm probably 5-6 bowls normally on an evening.
Yeah.
Like that's...
I would imagine that.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. And I'm never really highly elevated.
No, not
Yeah.
on this one. I mean, I've smoked quite a bit of this, and you don't get too elevated, in meaning that you're couch locked. Um,
I
that never got couch locked with this one, and a lot of hybrids will do that to me. If I smoke enough, I will get couch locked. So I really would like to be able to experiment with this one next time that we are able to get some more of this. We should definitely create the oil and create edibles. We haven't done edibles in quite a while.
Yeah.
That'd be a great idea. Some new content to be able to put out there on our Insta and our TikTok.
I would teach you guys how to make some edibles.
Yeah, and teach you what we're doing with them and some flavors over there, and then maybe even get in a review directly in there. We'll cut it together. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, awesome.
Ladies and gents.
Well, let us know what you guys think. Definitely go try this out. Like I said, Brandon said it's pretty much almost anywhere you can be able to find cannabis. If you've tried it in a vape, let us know what that's like. And also, remember, like,
subscribe,
and leave a review.
And as always,
love you guys.
Catch y'all next week.